Chapter 27. The Blood Talisman of the Heavenly. Emperor, the Great Defeat of Luyang. In the blood-can-fire city, after the death demon formation was broken, the Tang army sheared outside the city. But inside the city, the people were even more miserable. Corpses were everywhere, and wailing echoed throughout the streets. In the Luyang Palace, Wang Shigong sat on the throne. His face pale, wine splashed everywhere, and his eyes were red like a madman. The demon formation is gone. Then I will use the people's blood to exchange for the throne. Tonight, I will summon the Blood and Fire Emperor. The advisors were terrified, but no one dared to intervene. The Blood and Fire Altar. In the middle of the palace courtyard, a black bronze altar was set up. On the altar, 8 young women were tied up, their blood dripping into the bronze bucket, mixing with the red silk talisman. The Black Mountain Taoist, the remaining soul, appeared like a ghost, chanting the spell together with Kara Tejin. Blood from the bronze barrel flew up into red clouds, swirling into the sky. In an instant, the entire city was filled with a red light like hell. The wind swept up sand and dust, and blood rained down on every alley. The Blood Talisman of Heaven appeared, a scroll of talisman several meters long, spinning in the sky, with blood engraved on each stroke, like a knife cutting into people's souls. The Tang army starts its work outside the city. Li Shimin gave the order. We cannot delay any longer. We must destroy the city immediately, otherwise the people will become a sea of blood. The war drums beat. The Tang army erected cloud ladders, rolled artillery carts, and roared like thunder. Qin Shu Bao led the way, his twin spears like dragons, cutting down dozens of people on the wall. Cheng Zhao's Jin charged forward, his hammer swinging thundering 3 palaces, breaking open the small door. La Cheng spurred his white horse, his golden spear throwing 9 dragons linked strike, opening the way for the army to charge in. But from the sky, the Blood Talisman's light shone down, transforming each of the Wang army's ordinary arrows into blood arrows, shooting fiercely like rain of fire. The Tang army fell like straw. Chaos formation. The Black Mountain Taoist and Kara Tejin stood on both sides of the altar, simultaneously casting spells. Thousands of red ghosts flew out from the talisman, rushing towards the soldiers. The iron soul lock, blood chains tightly wrapped around the cloud ladder, dragging the soldiers down like toys. The Tang army was terrified. Fan Wein too waved his whisk, recited the Jade Pure Heart Seal spell. White light shot out, temporarily repelling the resentful spirits. But he struggled, blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. This is a magic beyond mortal power. Only by uniting our minds can we resolve it. The great battle of Blood Dharma image. In the middle of the void, the Blood Talisman Heavenly Emperor transformed into a giant Dharma image, 1,000 feet tall, holding a blood sword in his hand, eyes like a red sun. He shouted, "I am the new emperor. Whoever disobeys my orders die." Qin Shu Bao rushed forward, his twin spears slashing at the twin dragons of heaven. Silver light exploded in the sky. But Fa Xiang swung his sword, and thousands of spears shattered. Cheng Zhao Jin flew to the Mountain Sea Palace. The sound of an explosion shook the sky, but was sent flying by a palm of blood. Luo Cheng jumped into the air, and his golden spear unleashed the ultimate technique of heavenly light myriad Zheng, piercing through Fa Xiang's chest. But the wound closed immediately, and red blood flowed like a river. The supreme formation Kara Tejin chanted the 9-soul grassland spell, summoning a storm of white bones, and charged straight at Qin Shu Bao. He swung his spear with the iron wall myriad strike, blocking it, but blood flowed from his mouth. The Black Mountain Taoist cast the endless shadow demon, and darkness swallowed Cheng Zhao Jin. He roared loudly and swung his hammer, 3 turns breaking shadows, breaking it apart, but his flesh cracked. Although seriously injured, Luo Chengxiang still charged forward, and the tiger-roaring sky saber struck Fa Xiang's shoulder, but he was sent flying, blood pouring out. The resurrection prophecy. In the smoke of blood, Yu Neo raised her bow and shot the moonlike divine arrow into the sky. The silver light shone brightly, illuminating the sky. In that light, the prophecy of Dak Sun echoed. 4 dragons gathered, 1 moon lit the way. The blood of the sea surged, fate turned. The bright hearts united. Only then could the evil king be defeated. The climax of unity, hearing the words, the 4 heroes joined their hearts together, pouring all their strength into the jade pure heart seal. The 4-colored light, white, yellow, blue, red, combined into a giant dragon pillar. The Dharma image roared loudly. Swinging the blood sword of the falling sun heavenly emperor, the sword shadow covered the entire city. La Fan shouted loudly, 1 spear to the death, break the dark fate. The golden spear pierced through the sword light. The light exploded. Tan Thuk Bao, Trin Jiao Kim, La Thua Tuong all gathered their strength. Nuyet Nye continued to shoot the arrow. Ting Quang Lin Ten. Boom! The Dharma image exploded. The blood talisman of the heavenly emperor turned into ashes. The Tang army poured into the city. The king abandoned his weapons and surrendered. The people burst into tears. Upstairs, Wang Shikong's face was pale and trembling, and he was finally captured. But before he was taken away, he laughed wildly. You won today, but the world will still rebel. Blood will still be shed. La Cheng hugged the dying La Chengxiang, his eyes blazing. Yu Nga stood beside him, tears streaming down. The sky gradually brightened. Sunlight shone through the dark clouds, shining on Luoyang City, dispelling the smoke and blood. The battle was over, but the fate of the Central Plains was still far ahead. The Tang Dynasty. Li Yuan in Chang, Li Shimin after the victory in Luoyang. Power struggles. Secret competition between the princes. The people were in turmoil. Uprisings were budding, heroes emerged. Some historical and legendary figures intervened. Connecting the immortals, demons, Taoists, remaining evil spirits, new prophecies. The ghost of the Black Mountain Taoist had not completely disappeared. The people are on fire. Returning in triumph after the Battle of Luoyang, the Tang flag flew high. Wang Shikong was captured. The world was shocked. The soldiers cheered. The people opened the city gates, welcoming Li Shimin as the savior. La Cheng carried the blood-stained La Chengxiang back to the camp for the doctor to treat. Yu Nga was always by his bedside, not leaving him for a moment. Every night, she lit a lamp and prayed softly. If fate has chosen you to be a hero, please let him have a family to share with. Outside, the sound of the triumphal drums echoed, but inside the tent, tears fell silently. The Tang court. In Chang'an, Li Yuan heard the news of the triumph, issued an edict praising and rewarding the meritorious officials. But in the palace, undercurrents arose. Li Jiansheng, the crown prince, feared that Li Shimin's great achievements would shake his throne. Li Yuanji, the youngest son, was jealous, often inciting urging slander. The ministers were divided into factions. Some followed Jiancheng, some followed Shiming. The dispute was quiet and fierce. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Li Shimin did not think about the throne, only wished for peace in the world. But history and fate did not leave anyone alone. The people were on fire. The news of victory spread throughout the region, but the people were not yet at peace. In the south, Lin Shihong declared himself emperor in Jiangnan. In the north, heroes were seizing power, and bandits were taking advantage of the chaos to multiply. Among the people, there was a rumor. The Black Mountain Taoist is not completely dead. Half of his soul is still wandering, hiding in human corpses, sowing evil seeds in the villages. The villagers were scared. Many places set up altars, praying to the gods and Buddha. Every night, people heard the sound of crying in the forest and saw the shadow of a black robe lurking. The shadow of an evil spirit. One night, La Fan dreamed that he was standing in a sea of blood. In the sky, the shadow of a half-soul, half-body Taoist named Haxan laughed. You think that after destroying Liu Yang, it's over? The blood is still flowing. The dragon is still broken. You are just a chess piece in the fateful chess game. La Fan woke up. Cold sweat soaked his back. Nuyet Nye quickly supported him, asking, "Is this a nightmare? Is the evil spirit still haunting?" La Fan squeezed her hand tightly, his eyes shining. "If there are still evil spirits, I will strike again. If fate holds me captive, I will break that fate." Hero and love. Day by day, La Chengsheng gradually recovered. During the days of recuperation, the brotherhood grew closer. One time, La Chengsheng held his hand and said weakly, "Brother, I am willing to follow you to the end, even if I die again." Unga was by his side, her eyes red, but she was secretly happy. She knew that La Cheng was no longer alone in this sea of blood. Undercurrents of Chang'an. While rumors of evil spirits abounded among the people, the conspiracy in Chang'an Palace deepened. A strange old Taoist priest was invited to the court, claiming to know the secrets of heaven, and said to Crown Prince Jiansheng, "If you do not extinguish Li Shimen's halo, the throne will no longer be in your hands." Those words sowed more seeds of suspicion. Love for women, debt to the country. Amidst the flames of war, the iron-hearted heroes also had moments of weakness. They fought not only for the country, but also for the women behind them, who gave them warmth and a reason to look forward to the day of peace. At Qin Wang Fu, late at night, Li Shimen was still sitting at the chessboard, frowning and thinking. The only person who could enter his study at this time was his virtuous and wise wife, Princess Zhangsun. She gently placed a cup of hot lotus tea on the table. Consort Zhangsun, voiced gently, full of concern, "Husband, it's late at night. Even though military affairs are urgent, you must take care of your health." Li Shimen looked up, his eyes tired but shining with warmth when he saw his wife. He took her hand. Li Shimen, voice low, a bit sad. "I'm not worried about things on the battlefield. I'm only worried about things right here at home. Big brother and fourth brother are increasingly distancing themselves from me. The way they look at me is no longer brotherly love, but jealousy and caution. I am afraid that the day the world is pacified will also be the day our brothers kill each other." Consort Zhangsun squeezed her husband's hand. Consort Zhangsun, "I understand, but husband is the true mandate of heaven, shouldering the responsibility of the entire world. The tree wants to be still, but the wind never stops. Please be careful. Don't let your kindness be taken advantage of by bad people." Meanwhile, Qin Shubao, during a rebellion, saved a young lady named Jia Jinling. She was the daughter of a loyal official of the Sui Dynasty, whose entire family was harmed by a traitor. Their love blossomed gently amidst the war. For Qin Shubao, Jia Jinling was a peaceful harbor, the image of thousands of commoners that he vowed to protect. But the most tragic was La Cheng. He received a letter from home, reporting that his father, King Luo Yi of Beiping, because he refused to surrender to the Tang Dynasty, was plotted against by Crown Prince Li Jiansheng, and finally died of resentment. La Cheng was in extreme pain. He stood in the middle of the yard, looking up to the sky and screaming, half hating Li Jiansheng, half blaming himself for not being able to be by his father's side in his final days. La Cheng, voice full of pain and resentment. "Father, I am an unfilial son, Li Jiansheng. I, La Cheng, swear to repay this grudge one day." The pain of losing his father had turned the once handsome young man into a cold, quiet man. A fire of revenge had been kindled in his heart, and that fire would soon burn him down. Outside Luoyang, the Tang army was reorganizing to advance further. Among the people, demons and prophecies were spreading again. In the imperial court, power was in turmoil. The sky of the central plains was still red as blood. The moon was dim, as if covered by dust. A new era had opened, and with it, the fate of the heroes was still uncertain. No one knew where the shore was. Darkness in Chang'an Palace. After the victory of Luoyang, the world seemed peaceful, but in Chang'an Palace, the undercurrents were rising. Crown Prince Li Jiancheng had trouble sleeping every night. Hearing the people praise Li Shimin as hero of heaven, his heart was even more nervous. The Crown Prince's ministers, such as Feng Gaiyi and Zhang Gongyu, submitted memorials day and night, implying, the merits of the world cannot be put in the hands of one person. Otherwise, the consequences will be unpredictable. In the harem, concubine Wu secretly advised the Crown Prince, if you want to keep the throne, you must remove the roots before the branches grow big. Meanwhile, Li Yuan, Tang Gaozu, was still immersed in wine and women, paying little attention to the court. The storm silently swallowed the entire court. The great firer of the people. Outside the city, the people were happy to be freed from Wang Shikong's yoke, but new worries arose. In the south, Lin Shihong declared himself emperor in Jiangnan, recruiting soldiers and horses. In the Hebei region, bandits rose up, and bandits occupied the city-states. Farmers were starving, and many places rebelled. On full moon nights, in the deserted forest, villagers rumored to see the wandering shadow of the Black Mountain Taoist, half soul, half ghost, gathering children and weak women to make sacrifice. Some villages only spent one night, and in the morning, they saw the whole village turned into dried corpses. New prophecy. In folklore, wandering Taoists passed around an ancient talisman, engraved with the words, "One dragon fell into the net. One dragon fell into the palace. Two brothers fought for the throne. Blood flowed through the country. Only when the moon was bright, the dragon flew back to heaven." People rumored that this was the prophecy of the new dark sun that appeared after the demon king was destroyed. Many people thought that it implied that King Fan and the Dan would fight for the throne. Blood flowed throughout the court. That rumor was like oil on fire, making the people even more confused.